MrBeast is a creator that needs no introduction. Originally, the biggest boy was PewDiePie, then he got dethroned by T-Series. T-Series doesn't really count because no one outside of India watches T-Series. It's MrBeast. He is the biggest YouTuber. He's the biggest boy on the platform and pretty much the sole reason that so many like challenge-esque YouTubers begin the video by screaming and a montage of clips out of sheer panic that if you don't get enough dopamine, you might just click off the video. But even with MrBeast and someone of his godlike status, he isn't immune to criticism. For example, his latest video where he cured 1,000 people of blindness. Now, the thing is, there is like a vicious cycle with MrBeast videos. This happens pretty much every time. The first thing, when a video drops, people critique the thumbnail, the choice of thumbnail. It's always quite weird, quite bizarre. And this one was no different, being incredibly ominous of him just looking so happy and affectionate with his hand on this crying child's shoulder. I do have to admit here, I love Jimmy. I call him Jimmy because we're friends. I have to admit, though, MrBeast thumbnails, they do emanate a very weird energy. Now, obviously, to maximize click-through rate, to make sure that you click on the video when competing with, you know, tens and hundreds of other videos, they need to stand out. So usually, it's a very simplistic background, maybe a field, some sky, or just a plain wall, and then it'll be a picture of MrBeast doing something. But the problem is, it's been photoshopped and tampered with so much, the images look like a mix between a deep fake and an AI-generated human. My personal favorite out of all of his thumbnails is the extreme $1 million hide and seek challenge with him and Logan Paul looking like wax figurines at Madame Tussauds. But no one can deny that MrBeast's videos, they go absolutely viral. Everyone sees them, whether you enjoy them or not. The thing is, though, the more views these videos tend to get, the more detractors they attract. And his latest video is no different, getting around 50 million views in just 2 days. But people were not happy that MrBeast was curing blindness and treating people with eye problems. For example, this tweet that got nearly 100,000 likes of someone saying, "There is something so demonic about this, and I can't even articulate what it is." The thing is, there's this weird camp of MrBeast renters, and they're kind of split into two sides, okay? The first camp, these are people that are like, no matter how much he gives, it's never enough. Okay, you cured 1,000 people of blindness. Why not 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000? Why only stop at 1,000? That's so selfish. Why don't you give him a Bugatti as well? And then there's the other camp that basically say that anything he's doing, it's exploitative. It's taking advantage of, you know, impoverished people, poverty tourism, for views, for his own business. And then there's also the small camp that just want to take the piss out of him. Like, for example, this tweet from one of my friends, Selma. Imagine being blind and then the first thing you see after your life-changing surgery is this. And it's two cameras floating in the air, and then MrBeast doing the equivalent of a human Wojak soy face. Now, I've watched MrBeast's video from start to finish. First of all, I want to say thank you, renters. You've made me watch a MrBeast video from start to finish. I have never done that in my entire life because MrBeast content is usually catered to babies on the iPad and then the wine mums that are watching the babies on the iPad so they don't stick a fork in the plug socket. Now, the video is basically essentially what it is in the title. MrBeast fixing blindness or some kind of eye issue for around 1,000 people. It's like a couple dozen people or so, maybe a couple hundred in America, and then there's like a quick montage near the end where it focuses on more impoverished countries like countries in Africa, India, places like that. I'll be a contrarian for a second, you know, brave statements only on this channel. I do kind of understand where some of the detractors are coming from because, for example, there's one bit with a kid he's brought into a room and then he's going to have the eye surgery, and then MrBeast, you know, he says in post narration, "There's only a 50% chance that this surgery is a success."
Because Jeremiah was born with cataracts, his right eye never received light, and that means that this surgery only has a 50% chance of working.
And by saying that, you almost turn it into like almost like a bit of a game show or something. But that's the thing, like, unfortunately, as altruistic as he's being, and he's being very, very generous here, like using his own money to fund this stuff, he's still running a business. He could have easily gave this money away, you know, off video, and then just put a tweet about it, but that doesn't generate him any money. Like again, the stuff he does, for example, with this MrBeast philanthropy channel, where, you know, he gives money away to homeless, supports people that are incredibly impoverished, it's great, but people seem to keep forgetting the key fact that at the end of the day, he is still running a business. He needs to make money. He needs to make more money to make bigger projects, and YouTube is an entertainment platform. They want to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. YouTube's biggest fear is for you to click off of their site and then go to somewhere like Facebook. Facebook. Who uses Facebook? TikTok. Okay, there you go. There's a good example. Something like TikTok. They are so shit scared of you going onto their platform. They will create anything to make sure that you stay on it. And MrBeast, unfortunately, he's probably just following the guidance that he's been told in dozens of YouTuber meetings. He needs to keep engagement up. The thing is as well, people like totally forget is MrBeast is that 0.1% of like good boy YouTubers that have constant meetings with YouTube, and his videos will definitely be shown off at board meetings to other companies to try and get sponsors. You know, if YouTube has a board meeting with Warner Brothers or Disney or, you know, anyone that wants to buy ad space on YouTube, they will probably 9 times out of 10 use a MrBreast video as an example to show that they're like a friendly, wholesome site. MrBeast does 100% benefit from this. He's not doing it out of the goodness of his own heart. I mean, he is doing it to help people, definitely, but he does gain from it. I mean, I'm not going to try and, you know, pussyfoot around that. He gains a lot. You know, if it's not money, it's notoriety. I mean, probably at the end of this video, because it has no sponsor apart from his Feastables, his own product, he probably is at a net loss. I remember a video of him sat with Logan Paul, and I think it was Casey Neistat, and he basically said that in this room, when they were doing a podcast, he's the poorest person in that room because he recycles and refunds so much of his money to put it into future projects. But again, that being said, he knows what he's doing. It's not from the kindness of his own heart. He's doing it because he can put more money into future projects that will get more views, because you really can't argue he is the biggest YouTuber right now. For example, someone like Logan Paul. Logan Paul has way more money than MrBeast has with his NFT projects, but he doesn't have the notoriety that MrBeast has. Nowhere near. If anything, like, Logan's kind of like, you know, half liked, half hated. Probably more so hated at the minute because of all the NFT stuff. He has more money, but he doesn't have that notoriety, and he's desperate for it. You might remember that little phase Logan Paul had where he was like constantly calling out Andrew Tate and wanting to box him. People like that will chase clout eternally, and MrBeast doesn't need that because he's found a formula. You know, he can put more money into future projects, get more from it, and then anything excess, he'll either, you know, play poker with his other rich friends, or he'll put it back into the philanthropy channel to show that he's actually giving back to just average people. I think people got defending him, saying he's doing it out of the goodness of his own heart. That's cap. I'm sorry. Like that's on God, that's pretty cap for real, bro. That's sus. But there are also people saying that he could give more. I mean, he could give more, but again, it's like, how much is enough? And I feel it's also this kind of like jealousy thing as well, of like, there is no amount that MrBeast could give away that is enough until he's basically just pocketless. Now, the thing is about this like huge MrBeast drama, which is probably what I'm going to title the video as, because that gets views for some reason. If any of you guys do commentary, by the way, title your video huge and then the name of the topic and then drama. Do it. We need to saturate that buzzword and kill it off because it is getting all of us too many views at the minute. So this drama has actually got so big that MrBreast himself acknowledged it, and people again have twisted this into like calling it an Elon Musk speedrun, because his first tweet was him saying, "Would you vote for me if I ran for president?" I voted no, obviously, because the spot's reserved for Logan Paul. But anyway, and then his second tweet he put out saying, "Twitter, rich people should help others with their money. Me. Okay, I'll use my money to help people, and I promise to give all my money away before I die. Every single penny. Twitter, MrBeast bad." And then I bravely replied with, "MrBeast, my son subscribed to your channel, but he did not receive cookie. Can you please buy him Bugatti as apology?" So yeah, again, it's that group of people that just will basically never be happy. I think MrBreast has said that a couple times, that when he dies, he basically wants to be, you know, completely penniless, give it all away. I mean, it is interesting because I listened to a podcast that he had with Joe Rogan a little bit ago, and he basically said that he went through a phase when he started getting real money, that he bought all this materialistic stuff, you know, the Gucci, the Louis, the Bugatti, but it only fulfills you for so long. I think there's a saying, I'm not sure the amount of money, but apparently after you earn a certain amount of money where like bills can be paid and you're living like comfortably, not insanely rich, but comfortably enough to, you know, be able to spend a little on yourself, any more money you make after that point, you stop generating happiness from it. It doesn't make you any more happy. So the amount of money you make, there is a roof. And obviously he's hit that like ages ago with the amount of money he makes. So he needs to find new ways to kind of, you know, just enjoy using his money for something productive, something that gets his dopamine running. I mean, yeah, overall, it's pretty ridiculous drama. I mean, whether you enjoy MrBreast's content or not, he does undoubtedly make amazing content. Like the production value, the design, the fact that he's got a little army of employees that just do all of this stuff for him. It's incredible. It really is. He's basically he is the standout creator on the platform. I'm hoping by being really nice to him, I could do a collab with him, and then I could do what Ludwig did and then upload one of his unused challenge videos on my channel, and it will get loads of views.
You can do the rump shaker, huh? The thug shaker? Give me the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that.